This channel isn't about shortcuts or hype. It's about showing the work, the confusion, the progress, and the consistency. I'll be learning web development, full stack engineering, and core software engineering concepts one step at a time. No noise, no pressure, just progress. So if you're interested in something like that, please be sure to subscribe and like this video, and every day as much as I can I will be dropping my progress. Okay guys, so today class we talked about HTML. So basically they mentioned that HTML is called hypertext markup language, and it is not a programming language, it is a markup language. The instructor also made emphasis on the markup, meaning add. So basically the markup represents the entire HTML existence, basically meaning that the HTML contains the structure, like the contents of the website, like it's the building block, like the text, the images, the videos. That is basically what HTML is. So today he taught us how to create a HTML file. He also taught us how to use a text editor. Well, basically not an exact text editor or a code editor like Visual Studio Code. He taught us how to use the inbuilt text editor on most laptops, which is the Notepad. Now, in the Notepad, I already have some assignments that I've already done, as well as the little mini version of a project, not projects, practical that we did in class today. So basically now I'm going to show you guys exactly what he taught us by opening this one. Yes, this particular one that we did in class. Okay, as you can see, he explained what each and every one of these things mean. He mentioned that the doc type HTML, this whole thing is called a tag. Anything that has this greater than and less than sign with these things in between, like HTML for example, or this exclamation mark, capital, doc type, small letter HTML with a less than angle. He called these things angle brackets. Basically he said that this angle brackets helps with creating the tags. We have the doc type HTML tag, we have the HTML tag, we have the head tag, the title tag, the meta tag, yes, the body tag, and the H1 HR tag, the BR tag, that's basically it that he mentioned. Now he said that there are two types of tags, he mentioned that when you carry this tag, now this tag as it is, or let me use this one, this body tag. Now this body tag as it is called an opening tag. He said it is an opening tag, and then this other one here, which is also a body tag but with a / before the body, is called a closing tag. Now these two tags with the contents in between it, altogether they are called elements. He also mentioned that then he said in the elements we have two types of elements. We have the normal regular elements where they have an opening tag, a closing tag, and the content in between. Then we now have a self-closing element, such as this meta and this HR tag and this BR tag. What does that mean? It just basically means that they don't require a closing tag like this H1 tags right here, or this body tag right here. That's just what it means. So you could easily use it and just put what content it needs to be. But there is a reason for these closing tags. From what I can get from it, most of these self-closing tags are not like the regular opening and closing tag. this meta tag, for example, it contains the metadata of a website, just this meta. So metadata is basically like some certain informations of the website that would not be displayed in the website. Like for this first one here, car set, it just means character set, UTF-8. It just basically means the character set, that is the set of letters and numbers that are being used generally when it comes to coding in HTML. At least that's what I got. He said that these things are already set by default, so he just did this to explain it to us. And then this second one now, for example, this second meta, it's talking about the content, basically everything in this website right now. Like, you know, whenever when you open a website, you notice the way it looks, the size, how it looks on your laptop, on your desktop is different from how it looks on your phone. For example, now this is how it looks right now. This function, this content equals to this entire thing, width, device hyphen width, then initial scale, column 1.0. It just basically means on any screen, anyone that's viewing this on any screen, it will just match their screen size. So he explained that this thing just means it should, the system that you are coding on, the laptop or the PC that you're coding on, it should maintain the size, the whole size of that laptop or your device that you're using to code generally. So let me give an example now. Let me press here. For example, you click it, see, it still shows every information. Nothing is being compressed together, basically. So I'm just using this as an example. Like, this is a smaller device window. So yeah, as you look at it right now, you see everything is in place. So now this is just for the coding, at least. Let me show you something else. So if we're going in depth, he said how to create the HTML file now. So we go into our file explorer. I already have a tab open. So in the file explorer, you click on document. I already did, but let me just go back to its default setting, which is basically this quick access. So now you go to the documents. When you go to the documents, you will tap on new folder. When you tap a new folder, you name your folder. For me, I've already created a bunch of folders, but for the purpose of today's class, I created another one for the class, which is web development early code. Now inside it, you will double click it to create these files. These are HTML files. Why are they HTML files? Because they have an extension of HTML. So he tells us that we right click on the screen and we go to new, hover on it and move to text document. When you click on text documents, this is how it appears. So you change the name. Let me call this, let me just say YouTube, since it's going to be on YouTube. Let's say YouTube. After you type it, you come here where it says TXT after the dot. This is called an extension. So you press back, you don't cancel the dot, then you now type HTML and then you press enter. Now it pops up this information on the screen. It says if you change the file name extension, this might become unusable. Are you sure you want to change it? So he says this is just it's trying to like caution. It's like caution, hence the triangle symbol. It's basically like caution because sometimes you might actually change it by mistake. So you have to be careful because sometimes when you change the extensions of files on your system, even if you change it back to the previous extension, you might really not get what it was before. Anyway, so you press enter or you click on this yes. This is already selected. So when you click on it, it changes. Now, as you notice, you see it has Chrome browser around it. Now, I think it's Chrome browser because it is my default web browser, because that is the browser that we use for the class. It's my default web browser, and I honestly just prefer Google Chrome. So he said, now to view this file on your notepad like this one, you have to right click while it is selected, move to open with, and then you open, scroll down to notepad. If you don't see notepad here, choose another app. When you click choose another app and this pops up and you scroll and you don't see Notepad here, you click on more apps, and then for sure definitely you will see it. But my own is already here right now, so I'll just come back while it is selected. Right click, go to open with, and then move down here and click on Notepad. Now when you click on Notepad, you have successfully already created your HTML file. So this is where you write the code. Now when you write the code after you've written it, so let me just give an example. So I'm going to press shift greater than, then I'm going to put shift exclamation mark capital caps lock on doc type space off caps lock HTML shift less than angle. Now he mentioned that what this means is just basically telling the computer that we are using the latest HTML, which is HTML5. If you left it out and only put doc type, it will go back to the previous HTML, which is HTML4. So I'm assuming that it's just a function, a feature inside of HTML. As they update it, they change it in their documents available online, and yes, it's changing. So this is the latest most people are using right now. So I'm not going to use this to explain further, or should I? No, I'm not going to use this to explain further. I'll just use an already made HTML file. Let me go to the today's class home. Now I'll use this to explain this doc type HTML. Like I've already mentioned, it just tells the whole system, your computer, that you are using the latest HTML, which is HTML5. Now inside this tag, this HTML tag, you are seeing lang equals to quotation mark en close quotation mark and the less than angle. Now what does it mean? It means it's telling the laptop, that your system, that everything you are coding in is in English. It's in English language. That's basically what this one is. Now for the head tag, this head opening tag and this head closing tag, this content in between, anything in between this opening and closing head tag is not visible inside of your web browser. It will not be visible. This text doc, this title that you put, it's not visible in your web browser, but when you go to the tab, of your browser, for example, now, sorry, let me go back there, day one, and try to open this day one in, okay, so sorry, day one now is open. So this is it, this day one file, not the day one b, this day one file. If I right click and if I select it first, right click and move to open with, I can open it with Google Chrome or any browser I want, but I'll use Google Chrome. When I open in Google Chrome, look, this is everything that I've coded. Now let me open it and explain things to you. So now doc type, it will not show here. HTML in English, yes, everything is in English, obviously. Now this head tag, you notice in the title of this title element, like I mentioned earlier, opening tag plus the content in between with a closing tag is called an element. That is what it's called. So now this title tag with the content in it just changes the name that appears up here. So now if I change the name to, let's say, simple devs, and then I press Ctrl S to save it, and then I refresh the website, you see it changed the name to simple devs. That's just what it particularly does. What again? He also mentioned that the meta, I already explained this meta, what they are. So now these things inside of these opening tags. Now, for example, this particular one right here in this opening tag of HTML, this is the closing tag, by the way. So this opening tag of HTML, this thing in here is called an attribute. Now, an attribute is considered to be called an element modifier. That's what it is. It is an element modifier, and you only write attributes in the opening tag, not in the closing tag. You only write it in the opening tag. Now, let me give an example. Like, see this one right here now. This H1 opening tag with the H1 closing tag. Now, style equals to quotation, open quotation, color, colon, green, semicolon, closing quotation with the less than angle. As you can see, it's just changed the color to the color of this text in between, which is I love coding, to become green. It just made it green. Now, you can change it. You can use this to change the color of literally any text to any color you want. Now, let me explain another thing. You see this other tag. This tag, once again, is called a self-closing tag, meaning it doesn't need a closing tag. It functions just the way it is. Now, what is the function of this tag? It is to break a sentence, causing the other part of the sentence to be in a new line, like the way it is. See, I love is here, so I love is up, then the BR tag, and then coding. As you can see, coding is in a new line. See, the first hello world and I love programming right here is not broken down because it doesn't have any of the tags in between. Now, let me try and break it down for you just so it will fit the example. So let's press shift open BR, shift close that with the less than and greater than angle, and I'll hit Ctrl S, and then I'll refresh the website. See, it changed it. Hello is up, world with exclamation mark is on a new line entirely. So what else? Okay, so this H1 tag is just basically like a heading. So a heading, that's what it is. It's like a heading, something that I use. Like if you are familiar with Microsoft Word, for example, or Google Docs, you know what a heading is. So that's just what it is. And yeah, so they said this HTML tag, opening and closing tag, just wraps everything inside. Now, it doesn't really change anything whether you add it or not, but it is crucial that you do, because he mentioned that apparently if you go further in coding and you don't implement this, you might have difficulty in understanding your code when it comes to reading your code. So it just is best if you just put it there like a precaution to ensure it is. And yeah, he gave an assignment though. I have finished the assignments. Now this assignment, obviously it didn't appear all that great. I still basically, it's not expected to be fancy, but like when I say all that great, because of all these other things that I wrote down there on the bottom, it technically appears on the website. Now maybe I'll try and do something to see if it functions properly. So let me try it. So in the assignment, he basically said I should write all that. By the way, for the exercise, it says all this right here is called a boilerplate. I'm still yet to figure out what that means. I think I'll make more research there, but it says all this is called a boilerplate. So that's basically what it is. So now the assignment, he said we should write the boilerplate and explain what each line does. Now, of course, I could not write it right here. I wanted to bring this up so that all this will appear first on the particular website, why all this at the bottom. So I'm going to try something else to ensure that all this doesn't show on the website, hence what's this? Yeah, so this is how it is. This is how it appeared in the browser. It put early code is awesome. I love web development. Yes, so now these are all the functions. Notice all the tags that we wrote didn't appear on the website. Why? Because they are tags. They are just like features inside of HTML. Like, for example, when you open your application, not every feature is slammed to your face. So when you open your apps, for example, or you open a particular website, maybe your favorite website, you go through it, not every feature comes to your face. You have to go to certain sections and click this and click that and click this and click that before you find what you're looking for. So that's why the tags like this one didn't appear there. They are just like labels that you attach to certain things so that those things would instead be viewed instantly. So those tags are like a set of instructions that you give to the computer. They are basically, like you say, code that you give to a computer system. So I think that is all for this video. Please, if you like content like this, be sure to like, to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, drop a comment, and I would see you guys again